I sent out an email and I hesitated to send it out. Why? Well, it was way longer than normal. It was intensely personal, and I wrote it while I was sitting in a coffee shop waiting for a doctor's appointment that recently changed my life, which is an entirely different story. And after thinking about some of the hard conversations I've had with business owners and entrepreneurs lately and thinking about my own story, I realized that I was scared to share this story, among other stories, but it's a challenging time of year for so many people. I keep hearing it from every business owner and every entrepreneur I'm talking to. And I just felt it in my heart that I could help or that this story could help. And so I decided to write it. I decided to send it out there. The email was about the time I almost shut down my business twice under two very different circumstances. I almost never talk about this. And friends, you definitely showed up. I heard from so many friends yesterday, the day before, that what I shared about that season of my life was resonating with so many of you. You shared things with me that you were afraid to admit to other people or yourself at the time. You shared with me about the little voice you hear and about some of your fears. I'm so proud of you. If you want to receive my emails like this from time to time, writing has become very cathartic to me this year. I've been writing a lot more just for myself, just only for myself. And I plan to write a little bit more. I plan to share a little bit more personal business stuff, the stuff that's hard to share. You can just download the free resource right here in the show notes. And after you download that, you will be able to get emails from me from time to time. 7 years ago, I was standing in my office after preparing my profit and loss statement for my tiny little marketing consultancy. And there was silence piercing my eardrums, and my heartbeat was pounding through my chest. Someone close to me personally, who was also my business partner in another business, had just said to me disappointedly, it would be more profitable and beneficial for you to close your marketing business and just work with me full time. I was speechless, and something in my brain was trying to reply to him like, dude, that was not the right thing to say to me. But in the moment, it just really got me because I wasn't feeling good about the numbers either. But this was my dream. I was building it. And then he said that. He said basically everything but give up. I got in my car, as I did, and as I still do when I need to think, and went for a drive. I considered what he said. Should I quit this? I know that, it wasn't doing as great as I wanted to. I repeated the things to myself that I knew I would tell another business owner in my position, like, it's still early in your business. You're growing, Lauren. You just moved your office and your home. You just project managed an entire apartment renovation. You've been putting a ton of effort towards this other business this year and towards your non-for-profit. Don't give up, Lauren. But it really didn't stop me from feeling so alone and figuring out how it all worked. And so on that drive, I thought a lot. I could lean in or I could bow out gracefully. And I just thought about it for hours. I drove for at least 2 hours, came home, sat in my office for hours. And then I just heard myself barely audibly, just the quietest voice. Just try it a little longer, please. And I decided the only right answer was to lean into what I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel supported, not alone. I needed to find that community and support. It was the support I was used to giving, and I needed it back. I wanted to feel successful by my own measurement, and I wanted to continue to work on my own dream. And I wish that I could say that the answer came to me sounding like turbo fire and power and lightning bolts, but it sounded like a whisper. It did not sound loud at all, and it was begging me to try a little longer. So I did. I tried. I worked hard. And fast forward 6 years to last fall, I had a successful business. And I was getting a divorce from my spouse for 15 years. I was moving out of my home. I was exiting one successful business and focusing only on my consultancy, all with the grief and intense healing that comes with life events like those. It was hard as hell, but what saved me was my support system in my business and the people around me. I felt everything a lot deeper. And as I navigated those new lows, I found myself holding on to what I planned for my life pretty much as easy as holding on to water. It was not easy. I was maintaining the business that I had grown. I was telling my clients, thank you so much for putting up with a little bit more scatterbrainedness right now. I am working as hard as I can. And my business was saving me, right? But every day felt so hard. It felt like harder than the next. And it felt like I was just ready to throw in the towel. Then one day I opened my email to a request from a person who is a well-known influencer, friend, former client, and he had a generous offer to talk to me about. He wanted me to dissolve my business and run his agency. And I'll be honest, like I actually considered it. I talked to a couple mentors. I asked a couple friends, very privately. And this time it felt different because this time it was because of my relevancy and my expertise. And I was just really flattered. And it was because of the success of my work. I just thought on this. And then one day I sat up drinking a glass of wine and working through a presentation audit for one of my speaker clients. And I thought to myself, do I really want to do this? Like, do I really, really want to step away from all of these clients that I love? Why am I considering this even? Is it because right now I feel completely overwhelmed by life, security, the unpredictability of it all? Or is it really like time to shut this down? And I pondered this for over a week. And one morning I woke up hearing the little voice inside. It's the same, I got the chills, same little voice that I heard in the car that day 6 years earlier, except for this time it was so much louder. And it said, do not do this, Lauren. You wanted this. This was your dream. You didn't give up on yourself before. You love this, Lauren. Do not give this up. I am so grateful for that offer. I felt so flattered by it, but I am so grateful for it because it shocked me back into forward motion. And I said no. So why am I telling you this story? I've seen the news. We all have seen the news. Inflation and financial insecurity. And I see my social feeds and I hear more about businesses closing every day, local businesses, national businesses under the intense pressure, challenges, and isolation people are facing. Sometimes that comes from within the business. Sometimes it comes from external forces where they have no control. And I want to ask you this. What does the little voice inside you say? Not the one that sounds like someone else you know. Not even if it's someone you love. Not the voice that sounds like the disapproving colleague or friend or spouse or partner or relative or client. What does your little voice say? And it doesn't need to be the loudest thing you hear to be right. If I had dissolved my business either of those times, I would not have had the freedom that I had this year to spend the last year meeting with friends and clients across the country, getting to actually know myself again post-divorce. And I do know that that comes with a privilege of not having, children or like anything huge financial tying me down to one location. My business is location dependent. But I would have certainly had less education. I would have way less community in my life. I would have had so much less freedom without my business. I would have less security and stability that I afforded myself this year to be able to take days off or give myself grace, to show up for people the way that they've shown up for me, to find value in living in the present, which has been a huge lesson for me this year. I wouldn't have had the perspective that I've gotten on how to find support and how I support myself. That was the most important thing. I got that from these experiences. It created innovation in the face of pure chaos. And both of these moments inspired me to find community, to build community. And that is why you are listening to this right now. You're part of my community too. You're part of my life too. Today, if I can encourage just one person I know who's questioning themselves to hold on just a couple more months, to believe that they're capable of at least the next 3 months before making the decision to fold, let me be your walking example. I'm a Midwest girl. I made my own way. I changed course so many times. I've doubted myself wildly at times, and I don't think it's unprofessional to admit that because it's real. And I've decided to listen to myself. It has returned the favor to me in more ways than I can ever have time to tell you. And you can do this too. And it's going to be hard. And later you're going to tell a story like this too. Please reach out if I can be helpful to you in any way. If you want a one-on-one coaching call without a contract, you got it. If you want me to hype you up in a voice memo on Instagram, yeah, I'm your girl. And if you want marketing questions answered for free, you can join my free Facebook group. I read and reply to every single email. So if you're on my email list, you ever think, I think I want to say something back to her about this, or I really would like to have a conversation about this, just reply, because I'm literally the only person who touches my email, and I will reply to you. But please, above everything else, just please hold on. Find your supportive people. even if it's not coming from the source that you think it should be coming from. Find your community. And if you don't know where to look for community, ask around. If it's doable, find a mentor or a coach to challenge you with either the gentleness or the fierceness that you need, and lean into your little voice and listen to it. I am here to support you. I'm here to cheerlead you, and I can't wait to see what you can do.